These recruits just made it through Marine Corps boot camp. After 13 weeks of basic training in Southern California, they're receiving their Eagle Globe and Anchor pendants, symbolizing their transformation from recruits to Marines. While we were filming these new Marines,
Good morning, Staff Sergeant!
one stood out. Ralph Lance M. Dahilig, a 24-year-old man from the Philippines who immigrated to the US during the COVID-19 pandemic. At 5'4", Dahilig is far from what you might think of when you think United States Marine. For context, here's a picture of Dahilig and me, and I'm only about 6'1".
My name is Ralph Lance M. Dahilig.
But what do they call you here?
Warbag, sir.
What do they call you?
Warbag.
Warbag.
Warbag!
Warbag! Use your brain, Warbag.
Go Warbag!
Warbag! Warbag! Get up, Warbag!
Why do you call them that?
We have a bag that's used for PT and for class, so we call that recruit, like the shortest recruit, Warbag, because they're the one responsible for that bag.
In April of 2024, we followed Warbag and his fellow recruits from Alpha Company at Camp Pendleton, just north of San Diego, during the Crucible, the 54-hour culminating event of boot camp.
This recruit can't reach, ma'am.
Because you can't reach, Marines are gonna die.
Despite his size, the diminutive Dahilig survived boot camp. And today, he is a United States Marine.
Good to see you, man.
Good to see you too.
How's it going?
It's been good.
I caught up with Dahilig about 7 months after he graduated from boot camp. He's now stationed in Japan.
You got a lot more hair since the last time I saw you.
Oh yeah. I really miss my hair.
You got good flow.
Thank you.
Growing up, did you always feel like you were on the smaller side?
Yes, but to be honest, I was like insecure about like height and stuff. But as time passed by, I learned to accept like I cannot change that. Being small doesn't mean like you can't be a Marine.
Yes, sir!
The Marine Corps' minimum height requirement for men is 4 feet 10 inches.
With your recruiter, once you actually started that process, did your height ever come into the conversation at all?
To be honest, it was the first question I asked them. Like, is my height good enough for you guys? And they told me like I was fine as long as you can do a pull-up.
You need to find a rhythm.
It's like everything we do is for a reason.
Yes, ma'am.
Imagine that. Let's go.
Come on.
Warbag, execute.
Aye, sir.
Hurry up.
Say something to Maya.
I said.
Warbag!
I'm
No, go over here, go down. Warbag, what?
Warbag.
What the?
You don't
Get
wait
to the second log.
Aye, sir.
Do it again.
Aye, sir.
Use your momentum as you swing down from this one.
Aye, sir.
What are you doing? At least get to the third log.
Aye, sir.
Lower profile. Put this arm underneath. Oh my.
Aye, sir.
Warbag!
Aye, sir.
Go over there with freaking delay.
Aye, sir.
Everything in the Crucible, whatever event you may not be able to finish, there's a consequence. So if they're not able to execute the Weaver, they go out to the side and we do something that's called fireman's carry. It's where you take a buddy and you put them over your shoulders and then you carry them from one point to another.
Go Warbag. Go Warbag.
What do your parents think about your choice to join the Marine Corps?
First, they were like afraid of me joining the military. I told them that I didn't want to do this, and I didn't want to prove it to them that I'm able to do it, sir.
What were some of the reasons that they didn't want you to go? What were they like worried about?
They were trying to like convince me that it was too hard. Then I did some research on the internet, and I was like, oh, Marine Corps, it says the hardest like boot camp and the longest one, and I was like, I need to try it first before like give up. But I didn't give up. Like I just like pushed myself.
Yes, sir.
When Dahilig enlisted, he was classified as a lawful permanent resident, a status that allows people to join the military and puts them on an expedited path to becoming US citizens. Under US military policy, once eligible recruits complete their training, they gain citizenship. This was the case for about 1.5% of the nearly 11,000 Marines who graduated from the San Diego boot camp in 2024. Since 2020, more US military members from the Philippines have attained citizenship by serving than from any other country.
I was born in the Philippines in like 1999. I lived there and studied there until like elementary. Then I migrated to Italy with my dad and my mom. I went back to the Philippines and go to high school. After going through high school, I attended like bachelors of science in information systems. I studied like programming, web development. My mom was a nurse. They needed nurses for COVID. She was able to convince me to come to the US. I wasn't able to like find like a decent job. At first, I was struggling since I really don't have like connections here. If you wanted to join a high-end company like Amazon, like Apple, Google, you need to go through like a process, a lot of internships. I was able to get 2 internships, but it's not paid. I need to have like a stable income. That's when I decided to like find a military job, like Marine Corps.
Hey, stand up.
Aye, sir.
Sometime today. Stop touching the red.
Aye, sir.
It's walking through it the only way to get across. Yes, Dahilig. One supply so you take it to the other side. You selfish thing. You just want to go over there with nothing. You're providing nothing.
This recruit can't reach, ma'am.
Because you can't reach, Marines are gonna die.
Aye, ma'am.
War bag.
Aye, sir.
Use your freaking war belt. So your arms are too short, right?
Yes, sir.
Maybe you should use your belt, put it around the freaking thing, that way you can hold it.
Aye, sir. Yes, sir.
Use your brain.
Aye, sir.
Try it, see what happens. Sometimes we just give them, like, throw them a bone, try to help them out a little bit, think outside the box, try to get them to think like a Marine. If you have someone who is short like him, like, you still need to accomplish the mission no matter what.
Use your brain, Warback.
Yes, ma'am. As the day passed by, this recruit sees that he's improving and he's gaining more strength, and like he can do the stuff that other recruits can do, sir. Back in boot camp, we were told to like present ourselves like in third person, so we weren't able to like talk with I. Like after becoming a Marine, we were allowed to like use the word I.
Let's go! Get him! No one said stop!
It's the Pugil sticks where recruits fight with each other.
Are you looking forward to this?
Yes, sir.
Let's go! Reset.
There's no beef with each other. I mean, there's some bickering. I mean, a lot of times. It's really nothing personal, sir. I did get my ass beaten though. I was like on the floor most of the times.
Motorcycles don't want it.
I can remember it real well.
1,
2, 3.
So Dahilig, he's a good recruit. Mind your business. You know, I see a little bit of myself in him sometimes.
Why do you say that?
Because he's very enthusiastic. When I was a young recruit, I was very enthusiastic. I was never really down about it. Like, I wanted this. And it seems like he wants this. And that's what's important.
All of you on your gear, ready, move.
Aye, sir.
Run.
This was the final day of the Crucible. The recruits had to overcome one more obstacle, climbing a steep hill known as the Reaper.
I think for every challenges, like every sacrifices that we made during boot camp, it's just like collected in one spot, thinking about like our families, our sacrifices, like the things we did at that point. It's just like emotionally draining.
If I die, come at home.
If I die, come at home.
Box me up and send me home.
Box me up and send me home.
There was just one thing left for Warbag and his fellow recruits before they became Marines. receiving their Eagle, Globe, and Anchor pendants.
Pretty much every single Marine there has tears streaming down their face. What is it about that moment? What did you feel in that moment?
It was really emotional for us. Like, it was a really happy moment.
Congratulations. Take those apart, all right?
Yes, sir.
Sure, man.
We became like a family in a sense. We've been together like for 3 months, and I was so proud of that moment.
And to keep our honor clean, we are proud to claim the title of United States Marine.
What was that like to be back with your family?
It was a very proud moment in my life. I was like showing off to, specifically to my sister, since I want to show her, like, look at me, I can do that too.
Dahilig is now stationed in Okinawa, Japan, where he works as a utility systems technician.
I'm having fun here. So I have like 2 roommates right now. We've been in boot camp. Like, Brown, come here.
Wait, hold on, get pants on.
You and Ralph are roommates?
Yes, sir.
How is Ralph as a roommate?
I love this man. He is a pleasure to have him as a roommate. Yeah, I couldn't ask for a better roommate.